Hi, welcome to Snag. Today we have come down to Cornwall to start our Cornish venues, and I've decided to start at my favourite place, which is Trevone. We're going to be going up and down the coast here and along the south coast as well. So today, Trevone, great venue, so much to do here, but during the summer you're going to have to go off the rocks and other places because you just don't stand a chance of getting on the beach. So with that, we'll get started. This is the car park. As you can see, it's quite spacious. There's a nice cafe over there as well. Does all sorts of things, food, coffee, drinks as well. There's a toilet block straight in front of us as well. So it's pay and display parking. And there's your parking hours and charges. It accepts coin and card even. Enter your registration and jobs are good. So as you can see, people don't look where they're driving. So these are the toilets, men on the right, women on the left. It's a 50p entrance, unless you catch somebody on the way out if you're really tight. And this is the Trevone Bay surf store, and we're going to stop and have a coffee. So we come out of the car park. The car park's just behind us now, and we come up here. Don't be tempted to try and fish off these little headland bits here, although the fishing I'm sure is very good down there when the tide's in. They are super unstable and there's regular falls, so there's signs everywhere saying about it. Stick to your footpath and you won't come to any harm. So I have fished off the steps before, but you're limited for room. But I've had a couple of small sort of like wrasse, a couple of small schoolies off there. As per normal, I'm going to take you to the 3 marks that I find the most productive around here. So you just take this little path down here. This brings you to a whole bunch of like rock ledges and stuff, which are just great for fishing. So you can set up with a big rod tripod and everything here. I've had conger, huss, bass and small pollock off here. So this is the first mark. It's quite comfortable. Again, it's an evening thing. You don't want to be coming here during the day. It just gets too busy. As you can see, there's somebody over there on the rocks spinning. I mean, the choices around here are pretty much endless. But like I say, there's a few little hot spots that I like to fish. That's where we go. So we're just going to walk down here for a few minutes and then I'm going to turn it back on. We're just coming to the end of this little bit of path and you meet this nice little wide area with the benches. And here is great for lure or your large rods. Just come down onto this grass headland here. Plenty of safe place to set up. Don't get too close to the edges. Some of them are overhangs and they do obviously fall. So with that, you need to be careful. But I like to use a proper rod and tripod here. And as you can see, it's ripe for wrasse, bass, pollock, conger, huss. The best conger I've had out of here was about £7, but I've had quite a few of them. I've had some nice bass out of here, £5–6, and some pollock to 3 and 4. So this is well worth visiting. If you need to retrieve a fish, you're going to need a drop net, and the best bit is you can just do it over here, quite safe against the fence, and throw the drop net over and you're able to retrieve your fish. So with that, I'm going to go back on the path and we're going to head on down to my favourite place down here. So down here, obviously, you have to be very careful on the rocks. It's advisable to wear a life jacket, especially in rougher weather. You don't want to be calling the boys out because it's going to take quite a while to get here. It's not one of those easily reachable places. That's if anybody knows you've even been wiped off the rocks. So Trevone Bay, it's a fantastic place. Like I said, you'll never get on the beach during good weather. Saying that, you probably won't get on it on bad weather. There's surfers and stuff too. It's definitely a after dark affair on the main beach. But now we're here. The beach is just over the other side there, and just the other side of that headland is the main beach, and it runs back to about there, level with the house. But those rocks there, they're all covered in mussels, and another great fishing point, but I'll show you that in a bit more depth when the tide's gone out on the main beach. So we're almost here. This is one of my favourite places to fish here. Again, you're not limited, it's endless pretty much. You can choose where to go. There's access points all along here. See the little paths running, and I'm going to take you just along here. If your missus likes to read, there's a couple of benches. Wouldn't advise it for kids too much here. It's more of an adult venue for that type of reason. So this is a nice little point where you can have a nice little sit down if you want. You sit there for us, mate. I'll be back up in just a minute, alright? It's just I can't keep an eye on you and film, okay? Alright, so we've got two ways down. There's that way and there's this way. You want good grip on your boots. And it's a series of slate ledges. I tend to come over this side. You need good footwear here. When it gets wet, it's slippy. So this will take you all the way down to the water's edge. And I tend to go just down there, where the start of all the barnacles is on there. I start there and I tend to fish it up. I never fish the tide down here, I don't find it that good. But on the flood, it seems to be brilliant. You have to be careful of winds in the face because it can seriously rough up the sea here. And as you can see, it's a nice gentle day today and it's still slapping around quite well. So we'll just take you down here. So the wind's very sort of calm today, but it is in the face, and as you can see it's lumping it and swelling it quite well. But anywhere down here you've got a multitude of like sort of areas to fish, like this slack water bit from where the pipe goes out. You'll sometimes find small pollock and whatnot in there, and then I tend to fish off here and I find myself some good bass here as well. You can get regular sort of 3-4 pounders. And then, as you can see, there's a few rocky bits out there. But this all drops down more as the tide goes out, and it reveals more ledges all the way along. I wouldn't recommend going over there. You can get caught out real quick when the wind changes. But again, this is only 5 minutes from the car. Great for lure fishing. Great if you've got a tripod and rod still as well, but you want to rig heavy. You'll find like sort of heavy duty conger over here. You wouldn't want anything under £100 rig bodies. You definitely want a heavy leader, 70 or 80 pound I'd say. And I generally fish sort of 30 pound line here. I don't use braid at all. It's just too much rock, you'll end up losing all your gear. So mono is definitely the way forward with Trevone. But this is more one for the LRF and spinning side of things. You can have some endless exploration around here. So I'm going to head on back up. As you can see, it's fairly easy walking. I've only got sort of like walking shoes on today, not heavy duty boots. Main thing is as long as you've got good grip underneath, because it can come pretty slippy underfoot. And it's normally where the rainwater sits. Sometimes you get like these little green slippy bits and brown slippy bits from all the algae and crap that's there. A lot of it's like steps. You don't have to be a mountain goat to get up and down here. And you can also drop round the other side too. But I prefer to stay this side because it's easy access back up and you're not going to get cut off. So this is the rocky side of Trevone. Luring and spinning haven. Hidden beaches and all sorts. Lots of walking if your partners like that sort of thing, or they can go sit in the cafe, eat and drink coffee all day, or go play on the beach even. We're by Mark 1. I'm going to take you down on the beach, show you what you're fishing over. So there's some steep solid steps here. They can be slippy when wet, so beware. Again, you want good grip on your shoes. And you come down onto slate ledges, which end up going down like steps anyway, or stairs, whatever you want to call them. Right, and while I'm showing you all of this, he's going to go rock pooling. See how many crabs you can find. So we're fishing out from just up there, and this is what you're fishing out over. There's lots of like heavy gullies. If you're using your main beach rods, then the shorter the better because of the casting room from up top. So sort of you want your 12 foot, 12 foot 6 or 13 foot max really, in my eyes. Obviously there is room for more and you can make it work, but for ease, the shorter the rod the better. And also for getting the fish up, because you're going to need a drop net there or get it into the steps there. But with a heavy conger on the go, getting it to those thin steps ain't always the easiest task, especially with the sea and the swell. So you have lots of sand gullies here. There's a pipe that runs out from over there, comes all the way along, goes along and onto my third favourite mark, which is at the very end there, where you see it all roughing up onto the rocks coming down into the sea. Let's get down it. So you've got all these gravels, slate, sand mixed in. You get these holding pools as well, which will stay here. They don't empty out. They generally stay here. And out to here, it's probably about 50 foot cast. 50 foot, what am I about 50 foot? 50 yard cast, somewhere around there. It's not mega. So we'll just walk on here. Limpet can be a good bait round here. You get lots of shellfish, as you can see all the winkles everywhere. And so the tide's still on its way out at the moment. I'm not going to be able to get further over there. But generally speaking, it's flat slate platforms like these with like holding pools in them, and there's nothing specifically sort of heavy or jagged coming the wrong way for you. It's pretty, although it looks bad, it's pretty clean fishing. It's not too bad. You want to rig heavy, you don't want to be too light, but it's pretty easy going. So bass is a good regular catches here. Main baits, shellfish, mackerel, bluey, that sort of thing. Crab, it's always a good one. If you're lure fishing and you're down here, you can fish it all the way out, but you really want sort of surface lures because you will snag up otherwise, which is what we're going to do with a little man shortly. So I'm going to head on over there and just show you that as well. You can fish from the beach there, but generally speaking it covers up too much, and I've never actually had anything from there, to be fair. I don't know why, because you're fishing out onto the same stuff, but maybe it was just a bad day. So this is the bottom of mark number 1. Just because it's different to the others. The others you don't fish out onto flat ground so much, because it's sort of like more lure fishing. Eventually you might get onto this sort of shingly sand and whatnot, but it's mainly sort of heavy duty rock fishing up the other end over there. It goes out a fair old way, and I do fish it from high water, not low. Never found low productive over there. Others might have more luck. So it's not a definitive guide, this is just what I find works for me and where I've had results. Mark number 3 is over here on the headland. I'm just going to climb over all of this stuff. It's more of the same pretty much, and then I'll turn you back on. So this is another great luring spot over here. Sorry about the wind, I'm trying to keep it out, but a little bit difficult today because it's in the face. So although all these look quite challenging at a distance, the walking here is not actually too bad. It's reasonably flat as far as rock walking goes, and just need to come along over here. So this I tend to do as the tide is going out, or like you can fish it a couple of hours back in, but you have to be careful because these little gullies, depending on the size of the tide, will fill up. So you just come up here and you need to climb up this one. So I'm just going to turn the camera off and get up there safely so I don't break it. Okay, so just over it. It's only a short hop. You need just both your hands, that's all, just to make sure. So you basically, at the back of the house, okay, you can set up here, fish over onto all this rough stuff. It's got barnacles, you want heavy line, you don't want to go light. So what I tend to do is I lure fish off here. I don't main fish really. If I was, I'd probably lose a fair bit of gear. But as you can see, that's why I lure fish here. Try and cut that wind out again for you, sorry. And it's barnacle strewing down there. I don't go out any further, but I fish around these rocks and you get some really good bass here. Sort of 6-pounders, regular. Get good bass to sort of, good bass. You can get good wrasse. I've had them like 2.5 pound or so. I know you can obviously get a lot better, but I'm not a wrasse fisherman as such. But if I get one as bycatch, I'm always happy. I had quite a few pollock. I've also had mackerel off here on single small lures when I throw them out. But as you can see, those waves are lumping right in at the rock. So you have to be careful here. With non-shore wind, they slap these rocks and they come up and over. So just something to be aware. Always double check wind and tides before you come down this place. And as you can see, there's the beach, full of surfers, swimmers, as per normal. I have tried fishing the rocks over the other side, if any of you are wondering about that. I've never had any good results, and I know quite a few good fishermen that sort of fish off the end over there, but again, it's not somewhere I go, it's not something I do, but something to be explored maybe by yourselves. I tend to stick here. The fishing is good here, like when the water's coming up you can fish off here quite comfortably, and you've got escape routes back up there onto the headland as well, which you can get up quite easily. It's not too bad. Obviously I've come from this way, which is just down here. The main things to consider around here is the overhangs on the ledges. Don't go too close to the edges. A lot of them are overhanging and they do drop. The danger cliff signs are there for a reason. I'd hate for you to fall in. especially when all we want is some nice fish. It's just not worth the aggro. So this has been Trevone. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as I'm down here having a few days fishing, I'm going to fish a whole bunch more, and I'm also going to film a bit more for you. Unfortunately, I've chosen the wrong week because there's plenty of storms, but if nothing else, I'll get a few more done, and then it starts off the Cornish section for us. So with that, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. Every single one helps, and it keeps me doing it basically. So with that, I'm going to head off. I'm going to start rock pooling with little bean down there. Right, enjoy. Catch you all on the next one.